You know, it occurred to me, I think I've been a little unfair to Freedom Meteor, not giving it a review until now. I just kind of glossed over it when I did Justice Meteor and when I did Infinite Justice Meteor, when I did Strike Freedom Meteor. I just kind of said, you fire some guns and it's got some missiles. And I'm like, I want to say it was my first SS rank. I think, maybe. Um, let's see, because I don't have any back here, I don't think. No, that was not my first SS rank. Oh, I think my first SS rank was hidden by that thing. I hate that thing. My first SS rank, I think, was the V2 Assault Buster. I think. I could be wrong. But, yeah, Freedom Meteor needs reviewing. So I think I've waited long enough on that. And I think it was kind of rude of me to not review it up to this point. Simple? Far from it. Who else would I consult with seed units than the one, the only Koolkid101495? And why do you have your remotes pointed at me right now? I'm just saying.
What's up, guys? How y'all doing?
I did not say you could speak.
Ow.
10, 11, 12 with patience. And they pretty much reel out like your average ordinary beam rifle, so, no worries there. But you got, 12 shots. That's 11 shots, 12 but let's see how good your range is. Well, they're not quite. They actually did a balance change a number of months ago, so they're not perfect long range. They go just beyond visual range, and that's about it. So whatever. Now for the the real long range. Let's see, how back to those go? 5, 8 shots, 9 with patience. So 9 shots to kill an S rank. And they genuinely go out to long range. It's weird though, even though weapon 1 is classified as long range, it still kind of sort of behaves like a medium range weapon that goes out beyond visual range. For whatever reason, they changed it to long range. I'm not sure why. And look at those homing. Good grief. They go beyond visual ranges. Oh, that's why. Okay. I was going to say the homing missiles go out beyond visual range as well. That's pretty good. Or do they? Oh, they actually do.
Those bitches hit me, that's for damn sure.
Yeah, unfortunately, they don't do a whole heck of a lot of damage. They only take about a fourth of your HP.
Unless you crit somebody in the back with them.
Yeah, even then. Full spam mode. Now, the trick to using this mode is to, and I know you're going to die as I say this, cool kid, but the trick to using this mode is you empty the missile mode, or you empty the missiles, okay, whatever. And then what you do is you just start going back and forth between the two weapons, because their reload is not that great, but on the other hand, since they go the same range, really all you just do, and you'll see that all the Freedom Meteor users will do this, they'll just flip back and forth between the two weapons over and over and over. And you can actually sustain your firepower for a really long time by doing it that way. And if you wait just long enough, you will have your missiles ready to go within a few seconds. Within a few seconds, yeah, good description. But enough is enough. See, Koolkid, if you would be so kind as to demonstrate where... Oh, wait. I just realized that beam rifle penetrates, doesn't it? I completely forgot about that. Okay. So if you would be so kind as to demonstrate where the shields are on this. Shields
Right.
don't acknowledge... Yeah, thank you.
No! Random pop-up.
What?
Random update pop-up.
Okay. The shield is only on the sides. Now, if I remember correctly, at one point, they actually had the shield on the back. And in a recent update a couple of months ago, they actually removed the shield from the back. So you will get regular crits, as Koolkid is demonstrating right now. You will get regular crits on the back, and regular damage on the front. But for whatever reason, this huge honk of burning metal and love and stuff, it only shields you from the side instead of from the back. I don't quite get that, but whatever. Everybody loves the spam. Next up we do the alternate mode, which is a purge, which means once you change it, the only way you get it back is if you die. Speaking of dying, on a paper, it's a 4-hit melee. And a decent amount of damage, too, to go with it. Average S rank in 12 hits.
Why did I count 14?
Was it 14?
I counted 14, like...
I done goofed?
I don't know.
7, 8 with patience. And reload rate is maybe a hair slower than usual. I think that was 9 or 10 hits to kill an average S rank.
It was about 10.
And by the way, it also does hit top and bottom with the melee. So yes, and then the third and final weapon is the rail cannons. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shots. A lot more ammo than on the regular one. 8 with a little bit of patience. Although considering how quickly these reload, I wouldn't worry too much about it. So 7 shots, 8 with a little bit of patience. They reload pretty darn fast.
And 9 to kill an S rank.
And 9 to kill an S rank. That doesn't have fist shift armor, of course. And now for boostration. Keep in mind, folks, this is a paper. I had to call dinner right then, of course. Actually comes up a little bit short. Okay, Koolkid, if you would be so kind as to drop me to 50% HP. Oh yeah, and anti-flinch as well. Scene fan, but go ahead and melee me. Seed fanboys definitely got their wish on that one. Whoa, that's enough. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I said 50, not dead.
Sorry. I wasn't paying attention.
Now, the reason I want him to melee me is because I got this funny little thing called the Neutron Jammer Canceller, which basically means if you double tap W, you'll notice that my booster bar is actually glitched right now. It's actually not because, oh look, I just outshined SR Sinanju. Infinite horizontal boosting. This also applies to sideways and backwards. So literally you can just boost forever once you reach 50% HP. So yay. I believe Koolkid and the regular Freedom can also do the unlimited boosting thing. And of course, because this is a mobile armor, you have the mobile armor properties, which means you jump twice. You can basically stay at the top and then horizontally boost and never drop down, because this is a mobile armor after all. Bullshit. So yes. In fact, one of the favorite tactics of any of the Meteor units, where are you? There you are, is to basically stay up here and spam the targets below. And they can't touch you at that point. The only way they could do it, and because you also have anti-flinch, so you can also withstand those long-range knockdown shots as well. So you just go and go and go and never stop. However, jumping is still an issue. So there will be an issue. And by the way, this does not apply to when you purge. You will always drop down.
Hold on. Ava, come see me.
Yes. Charge.
Ow, 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 ow. I didn't say melee me, I said come see me. Ow, 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 fuck.
You want your engineer cancer, right? Whoa, you're invisible. 20 seconds, hurry up.
I got all I needed from it. I'm
Yeah, what he said. So yeah, infinite boosting. And phase shift armor. No. No. Would you range me? No. So, Freedom Gundam's layout is pretty simple. In fact, I would go so far as to say, and I'm just going to say right now, the alternate mode, and I said this to the Strike Freedom Gundam as well, which is also an SS rank. If you like the regular Freedom Gundam, then the Freedom Meteor is basically an upgrade of that, with the caveat, of course, that it purges. And once you purge, then you get the same layout. Now, it's not entirely identical. For one thing, it is a paper, so booster rations without the neutron jammer cancer booster ration is an issue. You're also going to have fewer melee swings. So those are issues. But I think you have, yeah, you have more shots with the rail cannon, the double shot rail cannon, dumbfire. And I think you have fewer shots with the beam rifle. But the reload rates are the same. The weapon types are the same. When you go to mobile armor mode, you get homing missiles, and then, like I said, this used to be medium range. I think people said, you're treating it like a long range weapon. Why don't you just call it long range? Okay, we'll do that. So this might actually be one of the earliest units in SDGO, because Freedom Meteor, Justice Meteor were very early on SS ranks. Well, among the earliest of SS ranks. This might be legitimately the first paper. Well, this actually... no, I guess I shouldn't say that, because like Wing Zero Custom probably was the very first legitimate paper S rank or whatever it is. And the reason I say that is because it's got multiple long range shots here and multiple long range shots here. So yeah, it actually does. It is considered a long range company. Oddly, they behave exactly the same. You got two beams that come. Let's see, weapon one I think is the meteor units, beam cannons, and then weapon two is the handheld cannons here, which by look really, really dinky in SDGO, because in C they're freaking huge thing. The meteor unit actually dwarfs the mobile suit by a wide margin. And then you got homing missiles. So basically what you do is you get yourself to 50% HP just by spamming these things, and then once you get up there, you do the double jump. And you use your infinite boosting, which is right here, increased defense against long-range weapons. I don't quite get that, considering it's an anti-flinch unit already. So that's probably to prevent you from knocking down, or something. I'm not entirely certain. It's kind of weird that it's there, but whatever. It's probably to prevent you from getting sniped down once you go into once the neutron jammer canceller activates. But on the other hand, it already has anti-flinch built in, so. Yeah. Okay. Whatever. So, you very much you can do a lot of the reload on these is not amazing, but like I said, like I showed you earlier, if you start here and then go to here and then fire this and fire that and fire that and just literally go back and forth, your ammo will go for a really long time. And considering that both weapons are long range and more or less go out the same distance, you're going to have a lot of long-range ammo to work with. I think the only downside to that is that neither one of these has an effect attached to it. I think that's probably the only downside to this. Like one penetrates and the other doesn't. There's still, paired shots where, both cannons fire at the same time. But for whatever reason, there's no slow, there's no stun, there's no control shock, there's no boost on, there's no nothing attached to either one of these. So it's a little monotonous. And you have less ammo in here, but whatever. And then if you have to use melee for whatever reason, or if you just want to get your Jesus Yamato on, you can purge. So whatever. That being said, I'm actually going to have to update this because previously this was a medium range weapon. But I put it on there to affect the homing missiles and the reload rates on these two things here. So I think at this point I might have to change it so that it's the long range weapons, so that I can spam these for a longer amount of time. Just my preference, my playstyle says I keep my distance. So I definitely want to spam. I mean, this is one of those rare occasions a unit that can spam long range. This one can do it. Regardless of the rank, this one can do it. So definitely trying to get those long range weapons to reload. Hindsight being, after they, they changed it, the one weapon from medium to long. I think it's worth it more to include the long range reload on there as well. Don't have to worry about mobility, homing missiles. What are you going to do? It might be useful to have the SP radar so that people don't shoot you down. Attack up, I wouldn't worry too much about it. Maybe if you want to, whatever. But this is definitely a unit that likes to spam at long range. It's kind of like Wings Your Customs White worst nightmare if you think about it a little bit. And then, just for convenience, it has this alternate mode, and you have the added benefit that this behaves more or less identical to the regular Freedom Gundam. So if you like regular Freedom Gundam, this mode will give you no trouble whatsoever. If you don't like Freedom Gundam, if you think it's meh, well, you have an alternate mode to work with. So yeah, um, I don't really see anything inherently wrong other than reload rates here. And the other reason I went with HP and defense is because uh, it should take a long time for this to activate, and it should take an equally long amount of time to get it to drop down. You also have phase shift armor, which helps you out, a bit. It helps you against missiles and bullets and all kinds of things like that. So that's a useful thing to have around. But that being said, reload and defense, I would say make that neutron jammer canceller last as long as you can. Make sure you can make it as tanky as you possibly can. Anti-flinch also, this is a big unit. One of the and I think I've already commented on the other the other three meteors, and this is the fourth and last one I have yet to review. The one thing about all four meteor units is that actually I'm gonna go back into my main hangar. Is that the meteors have the distinction of being units where they have a mobile suit attached to the backpack and they have anti-flinch attached to them. Let's see, there's Infinite Justice Meteor, Strike Freedom Meteor, as opposed to, shoot, as soon as I said it, they disappeared. Where'd they go? Let's see, Avatar has anti-flinch, so I can't use that as an example. No. Why? Oh, where is it here? As opposed to the G Falcon, both versions of the G Falcon, by the way, so both Leopard Destroy and the Double X. Neither one of these has anti-flinch, and yet technically they're classified as a mobile suit attached to a really big backpack. And so for whatever reason, these two units don't have anti-flinch attached to them. But for whatever reason, the Meteors do, and they're the only units that do it. The other one I would mention is where are they? I hate that thing, is the two GN-Arms. Again, they have a big backpack accessory vehicle, call it what you will, attached to the back, yet they don't have anti-flinch. They're classified as a big unit, but for whatever reason, they don't float they float like a big unit, they fly like them, but they don't have anti-flinch, which on GN-Arms type, on GN-Arms Axia, okay, whatever, because it has mainly. But on GN-Arms Dynamas, definitely a big hinders that. You don't have anti-flinch on here. You basically have no way of defending yourself at close range with this thing. And it does, God help this thing. This thing is terrible without anti-flinch. So I'm one of those people who thinks that the Seed fanboys kind of got away with murder in this game by having units, by having their meteors, all of the meteors, units attached to big backpacks. They got their anti-flinch, but none of the other units in the game had that opportunity. But that doesn't mean you can't take advantage of it, certainly. So reload and defense, just, make that neutron jammer hard to get to and make it last as long as you possibly can. I don't really have anything beyond that. Cool Kid, take over.
Well, as for me, I do have nothing. Whoops, no. I do have nothing for on mine at the moment. But if I were to actually put custom parts on mine, I'd probably go with either a mobility tree. Well, no, not a mobility tree. I'd say go with an attack tree. And from my preference, I'd probably, I know for certain I wouldn't do the attack up. It's like Ava was suggesting. I'd do the his parts. I would increase the long range, And then I would do the level 10 long range part. I don't remember what it's called right offhand.
Wait, the attack rate and cooldown? Really?
Yeah, get as many shots in there as you possibly can. And I'd probably go with the omnidirectional crit. That's my only preference for it.
Okay, so you would only put 3 custom parts on there. You wouldn't want a 4th one in there?
No, I feel like it doesn't need it. Like 3 custom parts go in there, wreck.
Hmm. It's interesting. You're in the attack. So the only, in other words, the only reason you're using the attack type tree is to get to this critical chance thing, right?
The
Because you can get this attack rate and cooldown thing. You can get that in in the defense tree as well. But I'm under the impression that the only reason you're in the attack tree is so you can get your hands on this. Is that right?
Well, if I were to recommend any build being an attack type player or an attack tree player, yes, for all units I would recommend the omnidirectional crit. But it's all on player preference. I'd say increase the long range and that level 10 long range part and that omnidirectional crit. Just make them sting. 50% stay flying in the air. Wee! Bang, 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 dead.
Yeah, I can't really disagree with the attack type only because I like yeah this would be a useful thing to have around, but I wouldn't worry about cooldown and attack range. I think they're fine where they are. The response time on when you pull the trigger and how long it takes for the weapon to cool down. With these two, you notice it takes time for it to fire its shots, but it doesn't really matter which one you start shooting with it. Uh, and that's kind of the reason why you want to put the reload up on it, is because how do I say this? I'm blanking. Yeah, cool kid help. No, I I'm just going to counter offer here and say I don't see a need for attack type and attack speed and cooldown. I don't see any reason for that. Critical chance for omnidirectional, yeah, I agree with that. But I would also say again, make it tanky, or not make it tanky, but yeah, I can't disagree that attack up would be useful. I definitely agree with that. Cooldown, not so much. I think I don't think that's necessary. Koolkid, he prefers a little higher response, but in terms of responses, you don't have to worry about that because this is a paper. This is a long range thing. You can afford to keep your distance because you can just spam, and you don't have
Well,
to worry about that. Go ahead.
if I may put in my input with it wasn't about the cooldown with that 10 part. It was more. It was like yes, I'm I'm a real big attack player, and I'll admit to it any day of the week. But it wasn't about the cooldown, because as soon as you fire one shot, switch to the next weapon, it's automatically ready to go. I mean, we've seen that during the Meteor, the first section.
Right, yeah.
Immediately ready to fire as soon as it goes. So
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying the cooldown period between once this is fired and then when you switch to the other one, the cooldown you don't have to worry about it too much because the cooldown and real or not the cool yeah the cooldown and attack speed on them is kind of equal between the two weapons. You can just bounce back and forth, and you don't have to worry about the cooldown or the attack speed because you're already basically doing elemental or elementary level MCA right there by switching back and forth. You're cutting down on the cooldown and the attack speed on those.
in
In fact, I'm sorry to interrupt. In fact, if you just sat on one weapon, then you would notice, oh, it takes forever for that thing to fire. Oh, it takes forever for that thing to fire again. But by switching back and forth, you're actually using a little bit of MCA, which is an advanced combat technique that they don't teach you in the tutorials and things like that. You have to learn that on your own. So that's why I'm saying attack speed, cooldown, yeah, but continue cooldown.
I'm actually gonna save the next part for skills, or actually I might say it here now.
Yeah, just say it here,
Um,
because well, skills. No, I'm not going to put that there. Skills, phase shift armor, infinite boosting. It should say infinite horizontal boosting because jumping it doesn't count.
Yeah.
And then increased defense against long range. Oh, that does remind me though. Um,
That's
the,
why I wanted to go to the mobility tree.
yeah,
Just
yeah. I just realized no additional booster consumption when dash jump. So basically, if you double tap W, if you double W, and you're doing your horizontal boosting, and then you jump, you will consume no booster whatsoever. Even to do the jump, now you'll still only be able to jump twice ever until you stop boosting. But that being said, you will consume no booster until you hit the ground. And that also applies to when you purge as well. If you transform, yeah, you'll slowly sink down over time like all other units do. But still, when you jump, you're not going to consume any booster whatsoever. So yeah, I'm glad you reminded me of that, Koolkid. Thank you.
no problems. And one tactic to actually take advantage to where the short range players can't hit you, and the medium range players have to use their third weapon or have to jump in order to get you. It would be double jump if you don't have your spec already. Double jump, fire your spec in a random direction, double jump again, and boost away. They won't be able to touch you.
Yeah, yeah, and actually, Freedom Meteor is kind of the only one that has this problem of once you get up there, you can't climb to the ceiling in a Freedom Meteor unless you go up on top of a hill or a building or something like that. The reason it works with Justice Meteor is because it has melee in its in the Meteor mode. You can use the melee and you can MCA jump. You can swing, jump, swing, jump, swing, jump until you hit the ceiling and then do your horizontal boosting. Same thing also applies to the two meteors from Sea Destiny. Strike Freedom Meteor, once you transform, you can get it, you can, jump, swing your melee, jump, swing your melee, jump, swing your melee. And then once you get up there, you can just boost around. And the same thing again with Infinite Justice Meteor. Once you go to the pure melee mode, jump, swing, jump, swing, jump, swing, transform, then boost. So yeah, the MCA jump.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't Strike Freedom also do what we also call the funnel jump? Where
It can, yeah, it can, but it's really funnel jump and melee jump. They're pretty much the same thing. MCA melee jump, they're pretty much the same thing. The whole point is to make your unit flinch when you swing your melee
yeah,
or when you deploy your remotes. It's exactly the same function for different reasons, but it's the same function. So it doesn't matter on Strike Freedom whether you use the remotes or whether you use the melee. It doesn't matter at that point. It's exactly the same effect.
right. All right.
Okay. So, anything else?
No, not that I know of.
Okay. So there's a Haro sticker. That doesn't feel right. Something's going on here. 04. Okay, so yeah, there's the 04s on there. Wolf stickers right there. And the third one is on the Meteor. Right there. Big old butt booster decal right there.
If you purge, it's on the right wing.
If you purge, it's on the right wing. Is it? Refresh my memory, quick, because I haven't used a regular Freedom for a while. Where is that? Where it ends up usually,
Left,
or is it on the shield?
stickers on the left wing.
Oh, so it's actually over here. All right, so you'll have a little discrepancy between the two of them. So I went with my traditional blue, all the white parts, unlike the regular Freedom, the shoulders and something else. I think, yeah, it's just the shoulders. I think are usually in the fifth slot here, but all the Freedom's white parts, the Freedom Gundam specifically, all of those parts are on the one there. Those are normally blue. Those are normally, no, wait, I said that wrong. Yeah, those are normally blue. Those are normally blue. I think, no, that's not right. Easy way to find out, actually, Ava. So what we want to do is put this here. Oh, they're two different kinds of blue. Okay, that's right. My bad. I done goofed. Yeah, so those are normally a darker blue. That's red. And an interesting little thing here, you actually get to paint up a little bit of the Meteor unit. You don't get to paint up all the white, which it is disappointing. But Freedom Meteor and Justice Meteor, the only are the only two meteors where you can actually paint up the Meteor unit itself. And then once you purge, that you don't see that anywhere on there. So, and of course, because I love that khaki 3, I apply it to auxiliary or secondary weapons. That's why I've got khaki on there. So, because it's much better than pinkish purple. That all over the place, or that, or let's see, what's another really bad example I can pull up? No, I don't have the proper paints. Why? Here we go. Here we go. That's pretty much standard coloring on there. So it's like, yeah, I can't quite live with that. So, yeah, khaki. Um, yeah. I can't think of anything else right now. Cool kid. Final thoughts.
The spec that he does mimic the show in the perched mode. And when you paint up the meteor, or the Freedom Meteor, it actually does paint up like the original Freedom. The only problem you have to contend with is that fifth slot.
What do you mean?
Well, the Freedom and the Freedom Meteor both paint up identical. The mobile suits paint up identical to each other.
Sure. Well, almost, except for the shoulders, but yeah.
Yeah, except for the shoulders. But final thoughts, Freedom.
Well, no. Hang. I don't understand why you said something about the special and the regular freedom. I don't understand. What do you mean? Because the special attacks are two different things. Regular freedom has
This
a ranged attack.
I was talking about Freedom Meter in the alternate mode, the one you have right now.
Yeah. What about it?
Well, I was its spec actually mimics the show.
Yeah, they tend to do that in SDGO, where a unit during special attack will highlight some sort of maneuver or attack thing that they. Okay, so, and
I I thought I should be one to bring that up, and being a seed fanboy and seeing it do that mimic the show, not 100%, but just mimic the show, I absolutely adore it. So that's one of my biggest pluses for the Freedom Meteor.
okay. All right, Seed Fanboy. I mean, Koolkid101495. Once more, thank you very much for your input. Koolkid recommends an attack type. I recommend a defense type. Um, yeah. And so with that, this is Ava Unit 4A saying thanks for tuning in.